We covered how the echo is almost a distortion device as well, which is too cool because that means even less routing, configuring, and dialing in other devices. But there's even more good news. The echo is almost a chorus flange unit as well. The modulation section of the echo and its subsection known as LFO actually go through and bend pitch in subtle or drastic ways. It really depends on how much you move the knob up, so to speak. Oh, heads up, I decided to build a song from the ground up using that guitar part from the last couple of exercises. In fact, I've built a new part of the song using the guitar. Check it out dry first. Now, let's hear it with our echo setting from the last exercise. I've used the blocks function in Reason to capture my different ideas. Later we'll put them together. Now, let's talk about the modulation section. First, let's start with the LFO. By increasing the amount with the rate at a semi-low value, you can use the LFO as a chorus. Take a listen. Hear how it's being taken slightly in and out of pitch as it plays. Let me increase the feedback and play a single note. Very, very subtle bends going on there. Now, let's start it again, and I'll drastically increase the rate to show you how it can be used as a more noise effect. Now, let's increase the amount. It sounds really horrible at the moment, but you can also use this in other ways, in less drastic ways, to make it much more interesting. Now, let's investigate the envelope function. If you push the knob toward a positive polarity, you'll cause the echo to bend the note up and then down with each incoming note coming into the echo. This is, of course, for each echo that repeats after the fact. Now, let's hear it again with single notes, first in smaller and then in higher amounts. Slight to no bend. Serious bend on one note. Let's start the sequencer with really exaggerated envelope and hear it. Wow, that's not a good setting for guitar, that's for sure. The envelope can be used for subtle and hardcore detuning, but without causing all notes coming into detune, just the prominent ones. Finally, let's talk about wobble. This introduces a tape-style wobble in your echoes, which greatly resembles the old Roland space echo. As the knob is increased, the random pitch wobbles or bends are introduced, making your instrument sound either more dated or dubby. Let's listen. Notice, even in the higher levels, the pitching is still more subdued, more organic. Use this for instances where you're trying to emulate older gear or something just more natural. When we get into working with feedback, you'll also start finding that the wobble is great for emulating those old don't do drug videos made in the 60s and 70s. Alright, in the next video, we're heading into that 60s and 70s era even more, mainly because we're going to be exploring feedback, and much, much more.